Imagine waking up on a normal morning. The sun rises over the streets. Merchants open their shops. Children run through the narrow roads. Bread is baking in ovens across the city. Everything seems ordinary, but in just a few hours, this entire world will disappear. Buried, frozen in time. This is the story of Pompeii. Nearly 2,000 years ago, Pompeii was a thriving Roman city, located near the Bay of Naples in southern Italy. Around 11,000 to 20,000 people lived there. The streets were filled with life. Markets sold wine, bread, olives, and spices. Public baths were places for social gatherings. Colorful frescoes decorated the walls of wealthy homes. Pompeii was not a poor city. It was prosperous, lively, and deeply connected to the power of the Roman Empire. But looming above the city stood a mountain that the Romans barely understood. A mountain that had once erupted long ago, yet had remained quiet for centuries. That mountain was Mount Vesuvius. On the morning of August 24th, 79 AD, something strange began to happen. The ground started to shake. Small earthquakes had occurred before, so most people ignored them. But around midday, the mountain exploded. A massive column of ash and smoke shot nearly 30 kilometers into the sky. Dark clouds spread across the horizon. Ash began to fall like snow. At first, many residents simply watched. Some even thought it was beautiful. But the eruption quickly became catastrophic. Stones and volcanic debris started raining down on the city. Roofs began collapsing under the weight. People ran through the streets searching for safety. Some tried to flee toward the sea. Others hid inside their homes. But the worst was still coming. During the night, a deadly wave of superheated gas and ash rushed down the mountain. These were pyroclastic flows, moving at speeds faster than a hurricane. Temperatures reached over 500 degrees Celsius, 900 degrees Fahrenheit. No one in their path had time to escape. Within minutes, Pompeii was buried under several meters of ash and volcanic rock. The entire city vanished, hidden beneath the earth, forgotten by time. For centuries, no one knew exactly where Pompeii had been. Fields and vineyards grew over the buried city, until the year 1748, when archaeologists began digging the area. What they found shocked the world. Entire streets preserved, houses still standing, paintings still visible on the walls. Even food remained inside ovens. But perhaps the most haunting discovery came from the victims. When bodies decomposed, they left hollow spaces in hardened ash. By filling these spaces with plaster, archaeologists created casts of the final moments of Pompeii's people. Parents protecting their children, friends holding each other, people frozen forever in their last attempt to survive. Today, Pompeii is one of the most extraordinary archaeological sites in the world. Walking through its streets is like traveling back in time. You can still see shops, theaters, temples, and homes exactly where they stood nearly 2,000 years ago. A city preserved not by design, but by disaster. The eruption of Mount Vesuvius destroyed Pompeii, but it also preserved it. It gave humanity something incredibly rare, a complete snapshot of everyday life in the ancient Roman world. Not the lives of emperors or generals, but ordinary people, their homes, their food, their art, their stories. Pompeii reminds us of something powerful. Civilizations can seem permanent. Cities can feel eternal. But nature has always been stronger. And sometimes history can be buried in a single day. But Pompeii was not the only city destroyed that day. Nearby stood another Roman settlement, Herculaneum. Unlike Pompeii, which was buried mainly under ash and falling debris, Herculaneum was struck by an even more violent force. A massive surge of superheated gas and mud rushed down from Mount Vesuvius, engulfing the city almost instantly. Temperatures were so extreme that organic materials, wood, furniture, even doors, were carbonized and preserved. Boats were still waiting near the shore. People had gathered there, hoping to escape by sea. But the eruption moved faster than anyone could imagine. In a matter of minutes, the entire city was sealed beneath layers of volcanic material. For centuries, both Pompeii and Herculaneum remained hidden beneath the earth. The world moved on. Empires rose and fell. The Roman Empire itself eventually collapsed. Yet beneath the soil of southern Italy, the city slept perfectly preserved. When archaeologists began excavating Pompeii in the 18th century, they realized something astonishing. This was not just a ruin, it was a time capsule. Inside homes, they discovered everyday objects: clay pots still sitting on kitchen shelves, coins left behind on tables, graffiti written on walls, jokes, political slogans, and messages of love. One message read, "Gaius was here." Another complained about bad wine served at a tavern. These small details revealed something historians rarely see in ancient civilizations: the lives of ordinary people. Pompeii also showed the incredible sophistication of Roman urban life. The city had paved streets and sidewalks. Stone stepping blocks allowed pedestrians to cross roads without stepping into sewage or mud. There were public baths, theaters, bakeries, restaurants, and even fast food-style counters known as thermopolia, where people could buy hot meals. Fresh water flowed through aqueducts into fountains scattered throughout the city. For its time, Pompeii was remarkably modern, but perhaps the most fascinating discoveries came from inside the homes of the wealthy. Roman houses were often decorated with elaborate mosaics and vibrant frescoes. These paintings showed myths, landscapes, and scenes from everyday life. One of the most famous mosaics depicts the battle between Alexander the Great and Darius III, a reminder of how deeply Roman culture admired Greek history. Another famous house, the House of the Faun, contains some of the largest and most impressive artworks ever found in Pompeii. These homes revealed a society that valued beauty, luxury, and storytelling through art. Yet not everything in Pompeii was elegant. The city also revealed the raw, human side of Roman life. Archaeologists found gambling dice, political graffiti, and even advertisements for gladiator fights. There were brothels with explicit paintings on the walls, possibly used as menus for visitors. Some graffiti included jokes, insults, and declarations of love. One message simply said, "I regret that my wall has been ruined by scribbling." Even 2,000 years ago, people complained about graffiti. But despite all this life, one thing was missing. No one in Pompeii truly understood the danger that loomed above them. To the Romans, Mount Vesuvius was simply part of the landscape. Its slopes were fertile. Vineyards covered the surrounding hills. Wine from the region was famous across the Roman world. The mountain looked peaceful, silent, harmless, until the day it wasn't. Today, millions of people visit Pompeii every year. Walking through its streets is unlike visiting any other ancient site. You can stand in the amphitheater where crowds once gathered. You can step inside homes where families once lived. You can see bakeries where bread was still inside the ovens when the eruption began. And in some places, you can still see the plaster cast of the victims. Their final moments captured forever. A man shielding his face. A dog chained to a courtyard. A group of people huddled together. These silent figures remind us that Pompeii was not just a city. It was a community. A world full of hopes, fears, routines, and dreams. A world that ended in a single day. Yet, in a strange way, Pompeii never truly disappeared, because while the eruption destroyed the city, it also preserved it. Without Mount Vesuvius, we might never have known what everyday life in the Roman Empire really looked like. The disaster turned Pompeii into one of the most important archaeological sites on Earth, a frozen moment of history, a reminder of the power of nature, and a window into a world that vanished nearly 2,000 years ago.